Boom, everybody. Boom. We are live. We are live. I hope we're live. Welcome to LinkedUp on LinkedIn. Peter Clarke of Red TV. All of me. All of Peter Clarke, all of Red TV, right here with you live. We're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, anything with a little funny name.com. We're out there doing something. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so pumped today because I have such little time with this. It's so hard to get this person. She's on the other side of the mic all the time, talking to everybody from around the world, and I got 30 minutes with her right now. So this is going to be new for me. This is going to be exciting. So please stay with me if I feel too rushed, too excited. I'm talking about a TV host, podcaster, keynote speaker, moderator, author of 2 books, not read 2 books, wrote 2 books. Okay. Tech expert, entrepreneur, a mom. She's a regular business host, expert for Fast Company, CNN, Bloomberg, CBS, BNN, CTV, the Maryland Dennis Show here in Canada. Okay, Sirius XM, I think 167. I'll check my sources in a second. Sirius XM, and a fellow East Coaster, I know who this person is because we're cut from the same cloth. Please welcome AmberMac. How are you?
I'm doing great. I didn't realize you were from the East Coast. Where are you from?
Listen, you aren't asking the questions here today. You got to get used to that. So no, I was actually born. I was born not technically. I was physically born in Halifax, and I lived in Charlottetown, PEI. So I've been there because my dad was an RCMP, and we moved around a lot back then. So that's just a backstory. We'll talk about that another time. But I grew up mostly in Newfoundland. Can you believe that?
Wow, beautiful place.
Oh my gosh, right? That music, and I know that you love music. I know you love that kind of stuff. Well, you can't be from the East Coast and not like it. It's kind of illegal. They'll kick you out. So I know that's good. Listen, thank you so much for being here. I super appreciate it. I love what you do. I think people need to kind of first, tune in and understand a little bit more about you. So I'm going to throw that up right now. On LinkedIn, you can go to AmberMac and learn a little bit more about her. Of course, you can go to AmberMac.com. I'm going to put those up as well for you, Amber. AmberMac.com and ConnectNow.com. We'll talk about that in a second as well. So there's how you can reach out to her. You are a super pro broadcaster, so congratulations on everything you've done. 20 plus years, right? I mean, you've been doing this for 20 plus years. So I'm going to jump right into asking questions because I know you're used to doing that. So let's go right to it right away because we have such a short period of time. AmberMac Media. For the 750 million people on LinkedIn, there's probably a couple that don't know you. I'm going to say, just explain a little bit generally who you are with AmberMac Media so that they would know why they would reach out to you on LinkedIn or through your website. Tell us a little bit about you.
So AmberMac Media is a company that I started with my husband a few years ago, and my husband's name is Chris Dick, and he is a production pro. So we started this company recognizing that there was a real opportunity when it came to producing social video content. So we know that lots of people know how to produce broadcast quality content, but there's this additional layer when it comes to content in the digital space. And a lot of that is not just the technical barriers or requirements, but also that engagement piece. So we started this company to be able to do this, not just for my own projects and clients that we're working with, but also for other people as well. So currently we produce things like Monk Dialogues, which is a thought leadership series that has been going on for a while. We do lots of live streams from our studio here in Toronto and work on a lot of brand partnerships as well. I also host events and mostly do keynote speaking, something I've been doing for the better part of the past 13 years.
Fantastic. Yeah, you've moderated like 400 or 500 of these things, everybody. So I'm not talking to an amateur here. Listen, I just play one on TV. This is the real deal. So I just wanted to throw up the website there so people can understand what you're talking about. There's your services and so on, event speaking. You've moderated. You've talked to politicians like prime minister of our country, to entertainers and thought leaders and business people. You're always connected with business people because of your podcast, the AmberMac Show, and of course the feed as well. So people should tune into Sirius XM. I think it's 167 on Sundays and Saturdays and Sundays. Yes.
You got it. Yep.
Yes. Beautiful. I think Michael B. Is it Michael B? Michael B. Yeah. 250 episodes, by the way. Right?
Thank you. Yeah, I know. It's quite an accomplishment.
That is a big accomplishment in this world. Absolutely. So I wanted to make sure that we get the website up there so that people can understand a little bit more about the services that you offer and why they would reach out to you. So You've been in business for like 20 plus years now, right? So as you're an entrepreneur, as much as I say you're a broadcaster, you're an entrepreneur and a business owner. So, for LinkedIn specifically, for people listening, running businesses, and of course, 2020 and 2021, it's so difficult for people to survive for 20 years plus. I mean, you're doing something right. You're a leader in business. You are, even though you probably think I talk to leaders a lot, but you are a leader. So if you can tell us, what is your definition of leadership? What does that mean to you? What does leadership mean?
That's a really great question. So I have been running my own company for 15 years, and but have been in the industry for 20 in terms of the technology and broadcast industry. And I would say in terms of being a leader, there are many qualities that leaders have today, but of course, I think it means someone who has the capability of bringing a team to be able to grow a business and be able to just push boundaries, especially in 2021 when there are so many challenges that are in front of us today. So to me, leadership really is about being able to bring groups of people together and lead them in a certain direction. When you're a business owner, you know exactly what that means, because you have to make sure everybody on your team, we have employees as well as subcontractors, are all really kind of pointing in the same direction. So you can think about it being from the East Coast, as we both are, as being on a ship, and you need a captain to be able to steer the ship in the right direction, but the captain can't do it alone. You need all the other people as well. And to me, that really defines leadership.
I'm an analogy. I love analogy. I love that stuff. So you got me right there. We start talking about a boat and water. Why am I in Alberta and love water? Don't ask. We'll talk about that.
Don't tell me why.
I don't know. We'll have to. That's another show. We'll talk about that. So let's go there. I mean, you talked to over the years. I mean, you've talked to some pretty impressive leaders in politics, entertainment, if you will, in pop culture. Whether it's thought leaders, you're always in contact with new technology and so on, because of course you're a tech expert, and you're seen as a tech expert in the media field as well, to share that information. So you're always talking to people on the cutting edge of that, who are leaders. Tell us what you see as a commonality, maybe of a couple traits that you see of all those people, whether an entertainer, whether they're Prime Minister of Canada, or whether they're building a tech company. What are some of those traits and characteristics of leadership?
I honestly think over the years, having interviewed so many incredible people, you're right. Of course, we think about people like Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. I've also interviewed the former FBI Director James Comey. But honestly, it's some of the business leaders that I've interviewed early in the days of the technology revolution that to me are the most interesting when it comes to showing qualities of leadership. Because I think the one quality that I think is common among all of them, and we're talking about Reed Hastings from Netflix. We're talking about Steve Chen, one of the co-founders of YouTube, the co-founders of Twitter. Early in the podcasting years, I talked to all of them through a podcast I did with 𝘆𝗆𝗆𝗄𝗆. And I think all of them are optimistic. And I think optimism is probably one of the qualities that I think is most important as a leader in terms of being able to get through times that are challenging and times of change. So I believe that most of those people that I've interviewed are more optimistic than the average person. I mean, you never get to meet one of those people who's leading a large organization who you sit down with and is like, oh, I can't believe it's raining again. They just don't say that.
You just don't hear that. I agree with you on that about the optimism. It's not, and it's tempered with a realism sometimes, but it's certainly not the other way. I mean, they're not talking about what can't be happening. So I agree with you on that. I've noticed that with people that seem to have that extra little bounce either in their voice or how they can conduct themselves as a leader. It's always very optimistic, and it's half full all the time. So I love that. You are a personal brand expert as far as I'm concerned. I know you don't talk about that with yourself, but you've branded yourself really, really well in this industry. And I think you've noticed the trends along the way. Like I said, you were doing podcasting in before it was even invented, like 2004 or 5. I mean, you were doing things, right? I mean, so I didn't mean to date you or anything, but you were doing it in 2004 and 5 and these kinds of things. So you've always been on the cutting edge of being able to kind of what they refer to now as personal branding. Let's give a couple just, insights from your experience. What kind of tips would you give to someone now? Because I bet you've noticed this, but everybody is online now and everybody is out doing this sort of thing where you're creating content and you're building brands and so on, and you're building personal brands. So for you, maybe a couple of things that you've experienced that might help somebody listening right now.
I think when it comes to brand building, I have always believed from the early days of being on the internet that everybody should be building their personal brand in some capacity, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you work for an organization, because I think at the end of the day, it's important for your career that people identify you with your expertise and the industry that you're in. And so I think all of these social media platforms provide a really unique opportunity because they do allow us to further our personal brand. And really the only way I've understood how to do that over the years is through creating content. And the content that we've always been focused on is always within the vertical of technology and innovation. And so for us, it isn't so much about thinking, okay, well, how do I build my personal brand? But instead, it's about what type of content that can we create that can build community. And as a result of that, I think you've seen that it's been able to build my brand along the way. So I think content creation is a unique way to be able to build your personal brand. But you know this, technically, it can be very difficult to do live streams on all these platforms, especially live streams that look good. And content creation can be very expensive. And so I think for a lot of people, there are barriers. But the good news is with technology, it's getting easier than ever. Like I'm thinking of an app like InShot, which I use all the time, a simple little app on your phone where you're able to edit videos on the fly and add captions and use templates. I mean, think about 10 years ago, what it would have cost for you to create a video using all of those same features and functionality. And then all of a sudden you realize that we are in a really special time. And then once we get over the technology hurdle, the next thing I see from people in terms of the hesitation of building a personal brand is fear. I mean, people are afraid to put themselves out there. They're afraid to fail. They're afraid to go live. And, that's a whole other challenge you need to get through.
Oh, I love that you mentioned that. I'm going to tell you why. This is a big conversation in our home right now, which is all about because my wife is moving away from working for somebody and wants to work for herself. And this whole thing, you got to be able to go out and do it. That's why I love your relationship. You guys got to figure it out. She doesn't take my advice very well. So so I keep saying you got to get out there. You got to put yourself out there and you got to be able to do that. But the biggest one of the things we talk about is that we're always looking for someone to give us permission. Someone to give me permission to do it. And I'm thinking, why would I need? Just go do it. So to your point, go out, create good content that you think is going to bring value to somebody. And I think the personal brand will kind of take care of itself. So great advice. I appreciate you sharing that with me. I'm going to jump around a little bit because I'm very conscious of your time. I heard your show, the AmberMac show, everybody, by the way, fantastic show. Everything you do is great. But the AmberMac show, you just recently did a show where you're talking about, and I love this subject matter, so I wanted to hear it from you, misinformation, fake news, conspiracy theories threaten democracy. I think you were talking to 𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Does that sound right? Yeah. So as somebody who's in media, like you live in media, you're AmberMac Media, and everyone says, oh, the media, you can't trust the media. Now, I'll openly say I've had conversations with friends that go, yeah, you can't, and they'll say, oh yeah, you can't trust media. And I say, well, I'm not actually out there creating content in the media, sort of speak. So you're in the media. Why do you think we're on this slippery slope? Why have we gotten here when we have so much information?
Well, I would say, first of all, to those people who make comments like you can't trust the media, they have clearly never worked in a newsroom, because I have never met such hardworking people as we have in newsrooms across this country, whether they're in radio or television or print journalism. The truth is, most of those people ended up there because they believed in the value of telling the truth and telling stories. And most of them went through journalism schools like I did. And that was something that you really wanted to pursue in terms of a lifelong passion. So I'll start there and say this misconception that the media is somehow out to trick you, I think is just wrong in many, many ways. And then the second piece of that is that I think people tend to just believe what they want to believe. And unfortunately, with social media, they get sucked into these channels where they have a lot of people reinforcing their beliefs. And so if you see that there's someone you follow online that has hundreds of thousands of followers and they're saying something ridiculous like you can't trust the media, then all of a sudden you think, well, maybe there's some validity to that. How else would they get this many followers? And then that goes back to that conversation that all of us are having in social media today, which is how do we regulate the power of these social media platforms? And you've seen it in movies like The Social Dilemma on Netflix, where they talked about the fact that okay, it's okay to have the right to say something, but do you have the right to amplify? And unfortunately, in this world today, these platforms have given us the ability to be able to amplify content to a large group of people without any hoops that we have to jump through. So, you know, in a newsroom, traditionally, that does not happen. You have layers and layers of people you have to go through. So to me, it feels like, no, I don't trust the guy on Instagram who's telling me I don't have to wear a mask, even if he has 300,000 followers, because I know that he's in his bedroom with a tank top right now. And he basically, you know, had no hoops to jump through to do that.
Absolutely true. You know, I must say, I'm just say it once. I chuckle at the idea where people think there's conspiracy amongst like all of the. I'm thinking you can't get 4 people to go and choose what are you going to have for dinner, or what restaurant to go to. Right? You're gonna get BNN and CNN, all these organizations coming together. Not a chance. But back to your point about the professionalism of people that get into that industry. You don't just stumble into journalism to think, hey, I'm going to create untruths out there. People are looking to unravel, you know, mysteries and ideas and concepts. They're not looking to create them. So I love what you said about the professional media out there, because I know that there are people that are working really tech expert. You are a tech expert. Okay. So and you're not, don't deny it, because you are. So I know that you've talked about Clubhouse as well. So I'm fascinated to figure out now, who would think, for anyone who doesn't know what Clubhouse is, generally speaking, it's basically a new audio app. It's kind of talk show radio, if you will. It's conference call, it's podcast, it's all live. You don't need a video screen, all that kind of stuff. But look up Clubhouse, if you will. And I saw you doing an interview. Actually, you were on KTLA. So there you go. She's on KTLA TV in Los Angeles. You were talking to somebody, and you were referencing about Clubhouse. What do you think of this new app? I mean, are you shocked by the idea that people want to get on and start just talking to each other? What do you think of it?
I think over the years of covering technology, one of the things I've learned is not to jump to conclusions too quickly, because we never really fully understand where technology is going to take us, right? So in the early days of Twitter, I might have even said in some place online that Twitter was a silly tool. And yet we see now in 2021 how important it's become. So I think we'll see with Clubhouse that it will evolve over time. The one thing I've noticed about Clubhouse is that it's really sticky for some people. And what I mean by that is there are people who love it, and every day they're in Clubhouse and they love coordinating their conversations and scheduling interesting talks with other people. To me, I haven't felt that stickiness yet personally in terms of my usage of Clubhouse. Yes, I have used it. Yes, I've participated in great conversations that have been moderated well. But there's a couple of things that for me haven't really worked. One is that the time commitment on Clubhouse is more significant than any other social platform that I engage with, right? Right. I've noticed that. I mean, there are conversations, people ask me to join conversations that are a minimum of 90 minutes. Now, I don't know if other people have 90 minutes to participate in conversations, but I'm trying to build a business and I just don't. So I think that's one of the things that is a bit of a speed bump for me. And the second part of it is that I totally believe in the rise of social audio. So we know that audio and voice are big trends for 2021. But for me, it feels like this is sort of a pretty simple app that can be replicated and is being replicated. We're seeing, right, on Twitter, they're doing some testing right now with the Clubhouse-like feature. We've heard about Facebook doing the same thing. So these are features that can be rolled into existing apps, even LinkedIn. So I don't know if it's that big app that's going to redefine how we connect online. To me, it still seems pretty niche.
Yeah, it is. And I understand what you mean by the stickiness of it. I know people that are literally in there 6, 7, 8 hours a day, like literally going from room to room where they're moderating, they're co-hosting. That's what's so interesting. Everybody now is a moderator and a co-host. I'm not saying that you can't be. I'm just saying it's fat. I didn't know there was that many out there. And I didn't know that 50s, 60s talk radio would come back so quick. It's basically a Zoom call without the video. And I'm just trying to figure out why everyone thinks it's so fascinating. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be adopted by some of the other platforms really, really, really quickly. So, okay. I thank you for sharing that with you. So you and I, maybe we'll do hey, let's go to Clubhouse and we'll do one of these just like this. And we'll go, why are we here?
We specialize in video. So this is the thing, right? I mean, you're like, I love the video medium. I will always love video. And that's a core competency of our business today. So to me, it just feels like the audio piece of it is probably just not that interesting because we're such a visual company. So that's another reason I've probably not thrown myself into that, because it would be weird for me to spend hours on Clubhouse, and I have a studio and a business in Toronto that does video production.
Totally. Well, of course, and your stuff again is at a different level. So that's why it's also like talking to a television network is talking to AmberMac Media. So I understand what you mean. Why would you be a radio station when you're a full blown video and sort of broadcasting service? So fantastic. I know philanthropy is important to you. I know giving back and making a difference in the community. I love that about that. You use your platform as a force for good. Bravo for that. I don't know if you know this. I'll talk to you about it another time, but I do have a CRTC license, believe it or not, for a specialty channel called the Philanthropy Channel. Did you know that?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it is cool. I'm definitely going to bring it on here, and we're going to take it to another level or get it going, because, you know, the old model of special TV and cable, I think, is probably not so revenue friendly right now. But with all that being said, I know that you have been supporting someone locally here. And I want to throw up this quick little clip from CBC. Okay, I'm going to throw up this quick little clip from CBC, and then we'll come back and I want you to comment on this little clip, and because I love the fact that you're amplifying it. So let's have a quick look.
It's hardly Mohammed's first act of goodwill, and it won't be his last. His goal now is to deliver 15,000 meals a month for the next 3 months.
And there is good people that wants to do good things. And that's the bottom line. I think the solution of the world today with all these problems is having more good people doing good things. That's all.
I love that. And you're part of that story. And so we're amplifying this quick little story. Tell me why you're so passionate about making a difference in your community, and maybe specifically with Mohammed here.
So I'm sure if people are watching right now and they live in Ontario, they know what's happened in terms of long-term care in this province. So we've had more than 3,500 deaths due to COVID-19 in long-term care in Ontario. So for me, I started really digging into that story and what was taking place. I went to a safe outdoor protest in early January with my husband, Chris, and our son. And I started to just read more and more about what was happening in long-term care. And it seemed pretty obvious to me, without getting political, that a lot of changes need to take place. And I'm mostly optimistic that some of those changes will happen. And at the same time, I wanted to be able to do something. And thankfully, as you saw in that clip, Mohammed and a team of people, and we've all become friends, started this movement called Long-Term Care Frontline Food. And essentially what that is a group that is spearheaded by Paramount Foods, which is Mohammed's company, that goes out and delivers meals of gratitude to frontline workers in long-term care. So the idea is, can we change long-term care? No, we are individual citizens who do not have that capacity, but can we show these frontline workers who are so often, I think, the targets of some of this blame, and also at the same time are really impacted in terms of financially as well as physically and emotionally. I mean, they're working really difficult jobs. They're not getting paid what they need to get paid. They don't have the support in place. So we're delivering these meals of gratitude. So if anyone wants to donate, they can go to 𝗏𝐶FrontlineFood.com. It's $8.50 to donate one meal, $85 for 10 meals. And we've been doing that for the past few weeks. So I was lucky enough to get connected with this group of people, and I'm happy to support them. And I think, especially during a difficult time, we all have to throw our energy into something that we really care about. And for me, having always respected my grandparents and elders growing up on the East Coast, where they were part of our family, my grandmother lived with us, it just was devastating to see how we were treating our seniors, not just during COVID-19, but even before that. So it just felt like we needed to do something for the people who were doing their very best under the circumstances to take care of those seniors.
Right, 100%. Listen, anytime we can start amplifying, that's the Philanthropy Channel, stories of making a difference in our community and giving back and so on. So thank you for doing that and using your voice for that. I super appreciate that. Now, hey, get a Kleenex out. You might get a Kleenex out. I'm going to tell you right now, this is new for you. I know you're not used to being on the other side of the questions. I know it's hard for you. So
I don't really like this.
I'm trying to be kind. I'm trying to be easier. So I'm just going to mold you into something. I wanted to do something with you because in my research, again, as soon as I found out where you're from, I was like, oh, okay, I got it. We got lots to talk about. So, but I love the fact that I know if you're from the East Coast, you're really connected. So connected with people and your family and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to throw up a couple pictures. Just in general, just throw up some pictures in general. And I just want you to first thing comes to your mind and maybe a one-liner or two about it. Okay, how about that? Really simple.
All right.
All right, you ready to go with that? Okay, reflections with AmberMac. Let's try this. Who's that guy?
Tony Robbins.
That's fantastic. Now, you worked with him, right?
Yeah, so Chris and I worked with him many, many years ago and have stayed loosely connected with him. And he's just been a fantastic role model in my life. And I have a ton of respect for him. And if you want to know what's happening in virtual events right now and see someone pushing boundaries, watch some of his events because he's doing a fabulous job.
Bingo. And I see on your website that he actually has a little testimony saying she's the real deal. So everybody, listen, if Tony's saying you're the real deal, okay, you're probably there. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so jealous. Look at me and look at that. Christopher Dick, you're a rock star. Look at you. Look, how good is that? I'm so impressed. So tell us what I'm looking at, what everyone's looking at here.
This is our studio in Toronto. We are in this beautiful old factory, and Chris, my partner in business and in life, has transformed this space into our studio for our business. It has many different configurations. This was a setup that we had put together in terms of how we were delivering our keynotes. Still to this day, we have, I think I have 4 keynotes coming up later this week. And so we are doing a lot of these live keynotes from the studio. And our whole goal here is to try to make these look not just like someone on Zoom at their kitchen table, but again, to kind of increase the production value to them and make them as engaging as possible.
Oh, and listen, no one competes with what you guys are doing live stream. Nobody, just so you know. That's just my opinion. But there's a good looking fella. Who's that?
This is Chris. He looks a lot like David Duchovny. Has that ever?
I know. I thought that. I was like, what am I like? Is this X? What's going on with the X Files here? Like,
right?
Yeah,
we know our Halloween costume for this year. Let me just tell you that. So Chris and I met at City TV many, many years ago, probably around 2005. And he was a cameraman. I was a reporter. It's very cliche. We used to sneak out and shoot stories together. And after about a year in that role, we both quit our jobs and we started our own company together along with my brother as well. And we kind of never looked back from that point. So who knew that we were going to have a pandemic in 2020, and being married to a cameraman as a speaker and broadcaster was the best decision I ever made.
I've got to say, I mean, it's just built right in. I just love the setup you guys got. That's fantastic. Okay, who's this masked bandit right here?
That is our son, Connor, and he just turned 12 years old, and we have one child, and he is an awesome kid and super independent, super techie, super compassionate. Being a mom is a total joy, and I know every parent will say this, but I'm just very lucky to have a son like him who has a really bright future. And it just also opens up what this generation believes in. When you have a kid this age, it's just fantastic to see how optimistic they are about the future and how much they stand up for things that they believe in. And I think that's probably a lot of where my optimism comes from, believing that this generation, I hope, will get it right.
Oh, love that. Listen, if you could say all those words about your child now, like compassionate and caring and so on, that's coming from you guys. So good job on you guys. That's fantastic. There's a good looking bunch right there. I'm curious about the brown colored with the blue collar. Who's that?
That's Rusty. Rusty is our rescue dog. We got him when he was 1. And Connor and I went to our local farmer's market, and a friend of ours was fostering Rusty, and then we were fostering Rusty, and then Rusty was ours very quickly. It all happened within a few days. Rusty's always in our studio roaming around somewhere. He's sleeping far away right now. But again, one of the best decisions we've ever made. It's just amazing to have a dog in the family and just get them all outside. And I'm just a huge dog fan and totally believe in the process of fostering and rescuing animals as well.
Oh, good for you. I knew that. I thought I heard it was a rescue dog. So thank you for doing that. Appreciate that. Who's this great memory? Share that quick memory. I love this story, but just, Cole's notes, if you will. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, if you're from the East Coast, chances are you have a very large family. So this was my mom's grandfather, and Alfred Gardner. And, my grandmother actually never met him. So she never met her own father because he was killed in the war, and he was killed quite young. And it's just, it's a memory, I think, to all of us who have family members who have served. in the Canadian Navy or Army. It just, it's amazing to remember what they stood up for and the freedom that they fought for. So although there are lots of people in my life I never met, obviously, I still like to post online and make sure that we remember them, especially on those special days.
Thank you for doing. I appreciate that. You know, from the East Coast, being from growing up in Newfoundland, of course, Newfoundland fought in those wars as a Dominion. They weren't part of Canada, but they still went over and fought with Canada. So so I know what you mean. It's very important we remember these great stories and so on. Who are these drinkers out on the street? What are they doing? Who are these people?
These are my parents in Charlottetown, PEI, and they are normally in Florida this time of year, like many Canadian snowbirds, but this is their first winter here in Canada for many, many years. So they are in PEI, they are safe, and they're social, and they're happy, and I can't wait to see them. It's coming up on 1 year since I've seen them face to face. And I know a lot of families are dealing with this as well. And, you know, that's one thing I think that we forget about during this time. You know, it's so devastating when people have passed away or they're getting sick. And it's also devastating just to think about the time lost with your loved ones. And I think about this all the time. So hopefully we can get back to PEI this summer. And I really do need to see them and give them a big hug.
Oh, absolutely. They look awesome. I bet they look like characters. Your dad looks like a character. I'd love to meet that guy. He looks like a character. I love this. I just love this picture. So just tell me, tell me a little. I just love it. I just think it's so awesome. So
yeah, that's my mom. I think Chris is in the studio with me. So I think that's Brackley Beach in PEI, Chris. So in Brackley Beach, which is kind of our go-to beach on the island. So if you are planning a trip to PEI, which everybody should go, especially with their families,
that's right.
Brackley Beach is 25 minutes from Charlottetown on the North Shore. Beautiful sandy beaches, safe water. And this is a picture that I believe that I feel like Chris might have taken this photo of my mom on the beach. And we've been spending every summer there. Obviously, this last summer was the first summer I had never even been to PEI during the summer due to COVID. So again, can't wait to get back to those beaches. Oh,
awesome. I just think it's a great picture. So she's like a rock star. And I have a funny feeling I know what this is, but I'm so jealous. So tell people just quickly what this is.
Okay, well, first of all, I have to say you really did your research, and I am just blown away. You are awesome, and I hope everybody subscribes and listens to all your content and watches all your content because you did a lot of your own homework, which is great. So this is a house that we bought in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, coming up on almost 2 years, and it's a 140-year-old home that we basically renovated and made it a smart home, so it has all the latest smart technology inside, and we have been really excited. We plan to go and spend time there last summer. That didn't happen. So we have really good family friends who are now long-term renters in this home. And we can't wait to get back to PEI again to finally stay in our house there.
I'm so jealous because I saw the loft part that you got. I mean, that to me, I would have just stole that as a little studio for a voice thing. I would have grabbed my guitar and just gone up there and all that kind of stuff. So hey, listen, I'm super happy for you on that because that, you know, to go back and have your roots and your parents are still there and so on, and to hear the fact that they're healthy and you're going to be there eventually with your family and stuff, and of course they want the grandchild there, and that all just works out fantastic. Okay, I know we're stretching you for time. I'm going to be real quick with you here. Okay, stay with me.
All right.
Look at this young lady. So don't kill me for picking this picture. Please don't. But I just want to ask this question of you. I really do. I mean, look at that person back there, right there, King's University. Let me see if I can get a little bit more clear with you. King's University, Bachelor, 98 and 99 journalism. I know you went to Dalhousie as well, which is fantastic. Look at that face right there. 2007, 13, 14 years ago. What are you saying to her right now?
It's a good question. I would say that I would probably say not to maybe worry so much. I think we all do this, but especially when we're younger, we tend to worry all the time about where we're going to end up, what we're going to do. And I think if there's one thing that I've learned over the years, it's that, hard work will take you places. And, I don't buy into the 4-hour work week or the fact that you can fast track anything. I think most successful people work really hard and they work long hours and it's intense. And so to me, it just feels like, okay, worry less. I don't want to say work more, but maybe work smarter would be the advice. And I think, when you get older, you're able to relax a little bit more. So that's sort of where I'm at today.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. I love that. Let's have some fun. Not that we haven't had any fun. Listen, I had a ton of fun. So I'm going to go through these real quick with you. But thank you so much for sharing all of those personal stories and background, because I think that's what happens with being online so much. You're online so much, and you're fronting a lot of these discussions that people sort of don't get to know you as a person. I mean, your family and friends know you and so on. But it's always fun. It's fun for me, that's for sure. I just love learning more about who these people are, and especially someone like yourself who I see so often. So, all right, let's have some fun. Okay. This or that with AmberMac. This or that. I'm just going to throw up two things, and then you just pick one or the other, and that'll give me an insight inside the mind of AmberMac. Okay, you ready to go?
I'm all set.
Let's go. Green tea or kombucha?
Green tea.
Green tea. Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman.
How come? You like the plane? Is it the plane?
I just, as a woman, you just got to go for Wonder Woman.
There you go. There you go. 60s music or 80s music?
Definitely 80s.
Thus the hair, like mine. Stuck in 1987. Mine is slippery when wet.
There's some great picks.
Absolutely. Convertible or truck?
Truck.
Nice. Well, you guys got lots of gear, so that makes a lot of sense. And you got a dog, and Connor's got a lot of stuff, so he's going to be lugging around sooner or later. Exactly. We're going out for a bite to eat. Chinese food or Italian food?
Chinese
food. Okay, this is one of the first ones people always choose China. I don't know why. It's just fun to know. Just in case I sometime I'm in Charlottetown. Travel wise, Europe or the Caribbean?
Caribbean.
What's your favorite island? Just curious.
I haven't been there for years, but I've been to Barbados a couple times, and it's so beautiful. And I know there's a lot of influencers there right now.
Yes, they are. I can't get back. Got to stay. Can't get back. Okay.
In the worst places.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to get you to spend the day with somebody right now. Angela Merkel or Michelle Obama?
I'm going to say Angela Merkel.
Wow. Okay. Do tell.
I think for different reasons. Obviously, as the leader of Germany, I think politically the stories would be pretty interesting. And the thing about Michelle Obama is that I would love to spend a day with her as well. But I feel like we know a little bit more about her. But do we really know a lot about Angela Merkel? Like I don't think so. So it would be interesting.
I think you were super right on that. That is actually true, because of course Michelle Obama is a fantastic, a public figure. But you're right. So much has been written. She wrote her own book. She basically
read her book. Yeah.
Right. Amazing stuff. Absolutely. Okay. Here's it might be a trick question, but how about a sunrise at Basin Head Provincial Park or a sunset at Cedar Dunes Provincial Park?
I think I'm going to have to go for the sunset.
The sunset. So you're a sunset person. Of course, we just announced those were two parks in the beautiful island of Prince Edward Island. So please, if you get a chance, you don't have to take the ferry, by the way. You can take the bridge now. So just so you know that. Interview today. I'm going to give you an interview today. Oprah or Bill Gates?
I think, I'm reading Bill Gates' new book right now about climate, but I think I would have to choose Oprah, although that would be terrifying. So I'd be more comfortable interviewing Bill Gates than Oprah, because she's the master interviewer, right? So that would be a little frightening.
Yeah, it would be a little overwhelming, no doubt. You worked at Microsoft a little bit as well, so I just thought it'd be interesting. Did you ever have a chance to anywhere, even in the room? No, ever been in the room? No. Okay. Yeah. Just wondering. There you go. But yeah, you worked at Microsoft, everybody. This person, you got to dig in. You'll find out more. It's all good. How about this one? Hope or freedom?
Oh my gosh, that's really hard. Hope or freedom? I think freedom. And because, hope is something that you could lose, but potentially get back. But freedom, we've had to fight for, and it wouldn't be something I would naturally want to lose.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no right or wrong, but fair enough. That's absolutely true. All right, finish this sentence for me. I love my life because...
I love my life because I have freedom. How's that?
And you have Christopher and Rusty and Connor and mom and dad and all. Yeah, I know you got a good life. Listen, your life is fantastic, but that's the right answer as well. When you have freedom, all of those other things kind of play a factor in that. AmberMac, It's so awesome to talk to you. It's just been awesome to talk to you. I can't believe how fast, and I kept you for longer than I promised you, and I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for joining me.
Can I just say something before we go?
Sure, of course.
Honestly, I have done, even though I'm mostly interviewing people, I've also been interviewed over the years. And this has not only been the most fun, but I will say that you did the most research and you came up with the most unique angles and you have all the visuals to add in. You're a total rock star. So just, hats off to you and thanks for the chat. And I've seen all of your work online and noticed that you're always doing such a fabulous job in terms of the production and the quality of everything. And this is just another example, another touch point where all of us can see that you're awesome. So thank you.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. This is an Oprah show. I sorry. Hey, listen, thank you for that. I'm super appreciate that. You have no idea what that means to me. And a shout out to your great partner there, Christopher. You are a rock star. Hey, move your cameras around a bit. I had it in small mode there a minute ago. There he is. Look. That guy's a rock star. Good on you, man. I'm such a fan of your work. And Amber, I'm such a fan of your work as well. So AmberMac Media, everybody, I'm just going to throw that up one more time here. You can reach out to her here on LinkedIn, of course. And there's the websites right there, ambermac.com and connectnow.com, by the way. That's the agency part of creating content. And that's with your brother, right? You quick
yes,
throw it to your brother?
He runs that agency completely now, but we do lots of work with them. So that's my brother, Jeff MacArthur, not the global morning show host. It's MacArthur, M-A-C.
There you go. I know. I like that. When I saw AmberMac and then you sent me an email, I was like, MacArthur. I said, who's that? And I was like, okay, this is cool. I love it. I love it. I just want to make sure that we didn't forget any family members here for you because we got everybody else in. He'd be mad. He'd be mad. So good to talk to you. I so appreciate it. Go do your thing. I hope we can connect one more time again. If I'm ever in PEI, I'm going to track you down and I'm going to go see your dad. That's for sure. He looks like a character. So I love that. He looks like a character. Thank you so much. Everybody else out there, thanks for joining us. And hey, be kind, everybody. How about that? Just be kind out there. Thank you, Amber. We'll talk to you again. You take care. Cheers. Here's from Peggy's Cove, everybody. Here's from Peggy's Cove. Cheers, everyone. Hi, I'm Peter Clarke in beautiful Peggy's Cove, Nova Scotia. You're watching Red TV.
I'm the real Peter Clarke. I'm here in Peggy's Cove, and I'm watching Red TV.
Let's go. That was good.